Barry crying. His mom was in a jam.
Oh. That's cute.
I know.
Very, very cute.
All right, so we were supposed to do this before the pandemic. Benefits of berries. I'm just going to hit on it quickly. We're going to have a lovely drink that Venus will be bringing in. Benefits of berries. It's an excellent source of vitamin C.
Be in your room between 3 and 4 if you want to get a blue ball.
Manganese. Decent amounts of
I'll close the door.
Pick one up on your way out.
folate
Oh, you're out here? All right, we'll drop one off here.
and potassium.
Don't tell me to shush.
Rich in antioxidants and plant compounds, have benefits for heart health and blood sugar control.
Might want to be in your room between 3 and 4 because I'm getting the blue Hawaiian card loaded up right now.
Okay, we'll be there.
Benefits of berries. Strawberries are 90% water, 7.7% carbohydrates, a minor trace of fat, and a minor trace of protein. So during this pandemic, one of the things that you could do is count the number of seeds on strawberries and then try to do an average. Okay? So I expect you guys to work on that.
I read an article online today that says if you stroke your strawberries in salt water, a bunch of bugs will come crawling out.
Oh.
He said soak, not stroke.
Well, that's not a good thing.
Now we're
But the
on,
protein's good for you.
Okay.
I decided, I took Unidone and I said, you know what the world needs right now? Is a lecture on happiness.
Oh.
That's what makes me happy.
Oh, Madison.
Madison, not that I talk about her ever,
No.
but, and believe it or not, like we were talking today, we'll get into more so, but being here and helping even to make you laugh gives me a lot of joy. So I said, why don't we delve into what is happiness, how we can make our lives happier in this situation.
You should bring Madison here.
It is Bring Your Dog to Work coming up, right?
Sometime in June, yeah.
Oh, I hope so.
Now, I want you to notice Snoopy.
Oh, thank you.
One of our residents passed away in the terrace, and the son brought an Easter basket,
See?
and it had this Snoopy, and you press its paw and it plays the music, and I thought, what a coincidence. My whole happiness PowerPoint is Snoopy, and I forgot to bring him today. So, happiness is used in mental or emotional states, including positive or pleasant emotions ranging from contentment to intense joy. That's what you feel during exercise. It's also used in context of life satisfaction.
Thank you, my dear.
All right, how do we achieve happiness? The most powerful way is to increase your short-term feelings of happiness is to perform random acts of kindness.
To others.
To others. Well, you could do it to yourself, but or send a letter of gratitude. And I was just saying today, I was complimenting on one of the dining staff down at the terrace, and I said, you know what, you're awesome with the residents. You know, I was trying to, tell her, because we focus on the negative a lot of times instead of focusing on what's positive. Right here, you never know when one kind act or one word of encouragement will change a life forever. I should have brought Kleenex. That's not a picture of me. Mother Teresa once said, we cannot do great things on this earth, only small things with great love. All right, so this is kind of wordy. Kindness is often disregarded. Kind people may be viewed as enablers or suckers. If one behaves kindly, it reflects a belief system that success is only achieved through stepping on others or ignoring others. The cynic's behavior doesn't result in true happiness, feeling loved, true destiny, and the purpose of being fulfilled. So what Snoopy is saying here, Woodstock's depressed. Maybe I should get him a chocolate worm malt. But think about it. Think about the last kind thing you did. I don't know if you guys remember when I was at Hannaford and the gentleman was in the scooter and I reached on the shelf and got what he needed, and he turned around to me and said, "This has been the best day ever." He said, "Someone at CVS helped me with my stuff, brought it out to the car, and now this." And I swear I was so touched. And you know, it's just the little things. Like, random acts of kindness increase a person's sense of happiness. Like after that gentleman said that to me, I felt so good, so happy. You know, so I was running, trying to grab people's groceries and bring them out. And kindness promotes gratitude, empathy, and compassion. Here's Charlie Brown holding an umbrella over Snoopy while he eats. A random act of kindness, no matter how small, can make a tremendous impact on someone else's life. You know how I always, every class, where's so-and-so? How's so-and-so? I haven't seen so-and-so. That's just so you guys know, I'm thinking about you, and I'm a stalker. How are you guys doing?
Good.
This isn't a lecture where you're going to necessarily learn anything. It's just kind of a reminder that even during this unsure time, we can help someone and maybe feel a little better. Kindness to others heightens your sense of good fortune, forming a connection. Feeling connected melds us together, not divides us. Kindness is a sense of community and belonging. That's what this is. This is Charlie Brown and Linus with the infamous Christmas tree. And he says, "I never thought it was such a bad little tree. It's not bad at all, really. Maybe it just needs a little love." And now they sell trees like this at Pottery Barn for $150. So, random acts of kindness is happiness. How come? Well, here we have Snoopy. His head is full of great advice because he talks. He's always happy to see you. Loves to share a smile. Paws are good for holding and helping. Has a warm spot here for you in his heart. For standing by your side, which my dog never moves from my side. Able to lean on and ready to listen at a moment's notice. We feel better when we're happy, and we can spread that. You know how they say, don't have negative friends? You know, try to keep them at a distance. Try to stay with the people who are positive. Because it can rub off. That's not me. But random acts of kindness can reduce pain because of dopamine, serotonin, and endogenous opioids. So it can produce a high. So who knows? That may be the latest cure for arthritis. Being super happy, not falling, Pat. Not falling, but being happy and positive. Dr. Vickers is here, and she said random acts of kindness can enhance physical and mental health. I mean, when you help somebody, don't you feel good about yourself? Don't you feel like, you know what, maybe I've helped that person have a better day? July 2nd is my birthday, so let's all just keep that in mind. Random acts of presence. Many physical ailments are either precipitated by or aggravated by stress. Kindness reduces stress. So what this pandemic is also bringing us, not just the risk of the virus, but it's a stressor. You can't see your family, your routine is out of whack, and you're under a lot of stress. So stress actually makes you more susceptible to things like the coronavirus. So that's why I kind of made this PowerPoint, because I feel like if you have the news on, and I know when I go around to people's apartments, the news is on. And that's all you have to listen to again and again. So instead of focusing on that, step out and focus on the good things. So enhance physical and mental health. If you ever notice when you're under a super lot of stress, so I don't even remember what was happening in my life. One of my caps fell off my tooth. And I swear it was just, and of course, I take stress to another level. I don't know if you knew that about me. It's, whew! So, and when this whole coronavirus came up, we had staff who were so stressed out about getting the virus that trying to talk them down wasn't even working. So their best avenue was to actually stay at home, because they were so stressed about being in this environment and maybe catching the virus. And that kind of stress doesn't do anybody any good. Random acts of kindness can enhance the release of oxytocin when interactions of people are engaged in kindness behavior. Bonds between those who are kind to one another are strengthened. So you have Woodstock on the bottom, holding up Snoopy, holding up Linus. Be kind to others. All right. So Kendra says, how do we live a happy life? Reduce negative self-talk. I did, back when I was single, I was dating a gentleman and our relationship stopped. So I went to Barnes & Noble or one of those stores and I said, well, there has to be a book. How to Fall Out of Love. There's a book for everything else. So I bought the book. And the book said every time you think about whatever you're trying to stop thinking about, initially you're supposed to say in your head, no. Well, I took it to the next level, and I was a dietitian at Ellis Hospital, and I'm sitting in my office, and all of a sudden I'm like, no! Well, everyone came flying in. What is wrong? Well, after I explained it all, I forgot what I was thinking about. So I stopped my own negative thought. A lot of times when we sit in our apartment by ourselves, we tend to focus on that one negative situation when you're just reinforcing how negative that situation is. You're giving it way too much attention. So reversing it by saying, you know what? I'm glad I'm alive. You know what? I'm glad my family hasn't had this silly virus. So, and I know it's very hard to look at it, but you guys still can come out. You still can go outside, and it's not the middle of December. Think positive. Smile and laugh. Hang with positive people. Find the positive and negative. What if today we were just grateful for everything? I mean, I'm grateful that I'm essential. I say that to myself every day as I'm driving home. I'm essential, I'm essential, I'm essential. Because I think I'd go crazy if I was home all this time. But thinking about the positive, the glass is half full, not half empty. And it's all about brainwashing. Hanging around happy, positive people. Sometimes the most ordinary things could be made extraordinary simply by doing them with the right people. There's Charlie Brown and Snoopy. Lessons learned in life. You notice I keep talking about my dog because Madison can't talk back. At least not yet. Here's a joke. My 4-year-old daughter and I delivered meals to seniors. She was intrigued by the various appliances that come with old age. Canes, walkers, wheelchairs. When one day I found her staring at a set of dentures. She turned to me and said, "The tooth fairy won't believe this one." So the dentures and the tooth fairy. And I don't know if you remember this, when we were cleaning out my grandmother's apartment, we found a set of those teeth. They make impressions. We found that in maternity underwear.
Good combination.
7 days without laughter makes 1 week. W-E-E-K and W-E-A-K. So that's kind of why I love these special days. Because even if you look and go, what the heck is she doing today? At least for those 5 seconds, you want to have me committed. Practice mindfulness, deep breathing, guided imagery. Come on, inner peace, I haven't got all day. And I find just stopping, and I do have a hard time just stopping, stepping back, taking a deep breath in, holding it, and exhaling, because I'm so quick to jump, and I've really been trying to step back and not be so reactionary, because a lot of times I think I read into a situation negatively. So I try to stop and reflect. It doesn't always work, but deep breathing, guided imagery. Think about walking on a beach, or passive progressive relaxation. You start at the top of your head, focus on it, take a deep breath in, relaxation, exhale, tension, and go all the way down your body. Or just breathe in for 4, hold for the count of 2, and exhale for the count of 5, if you can. Don't stick to those numbers. Eat a healthy diet. 2 cups of fresh fruit, 3 cups of veggies, 6 to 8 ounces of whole grains, 6 ounces of lean protein, 3 cups of low-fat dairy, 2 to 3 liters of fluid, which is really 8.5 cups, or 68 ounces. When I was doing this, it's hard to, not everybody measures the same way. So that's why I put the 2 to 3 liters, 8.5 cups, or 68 ounces. That's just a guideline. The biggest thing I'm worried about with this whole pandemic is when you're alone in your apartment, you're not having those visual stimulations of, ooh, there's water, I better drink. Or, I'm in the dining room, there's water on the table. And dehydration is probably the worst thing for anyone. It increases the fall risk, double vision, confusion. So trying to make sure that you stay hydrated, fill a water bottle and keep it with you. If you have to, tell Alexa, or tell me, I'll call you every hour. You know I will too. Exercise. And these are just guidelines. 150 minutes of moderate to intense aerobic exercise per week, a minimum of 2 days of strength training. So just by walking a little bit further, and that's one great thing I've seen with the pandemic is that people are trying to get out and walk. And thank goodness the weather's actually cooperating. And it's enjoyable, the weather's beautiful, and it's also helpful. You're increasing that oxygen flow, and that's never a bad thing. I've been hiding from exercise. I'm in the fitness protection program. Oh, gang, it's time, jogging time. No, says Snoopy's feet. Oh, come on, we need the exercise. No, says Snoopy's feet. I have very stubborn feet. No, 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 no. I know some of you have stubborn feet. All right, so a little interaction here. What activity or hobby do you feel happiest doing?
Something that involves other people so you can socialize as well.
And remember, you can still do those things 6 feet apart. And I think people aren't taking advantage of that because to tell you the truth, when I walk in the grocery store, I'm afraid I'm gonna get yelled at because I'm not spaced far apart or something. But yeah, even if you have to stand outside and talk to somebody on the first floor. What other activities or hobbies do you feel happiest doing?
Walking.
Sewing. You guys made masks. Ironing.
Oh, God. Are you kidding?
That makes you happy.
That's Esther. I put the words in Esther's mouth. It makes her happy when she irons.
Oh, really?
That's because I'm good at it.
I'm good at it.
John, what hobby?
I don't like it.
You used to love running.
We say,
You used to love running.
love it, still love it, just don't do it.
How about anybody else?
No, I don't like running.
Any other hobbies that make you happy?
Reading.
Reading?
Skiing, I
Stimulates your
love.
mind.
But can't ski now.
What is something small that always makes you smile?
Small.
Well, just something
Oh,
not so
not
significant,
important. Oh,
but it's important to you. Like Madison makes me smile, unless she wants another treat.
Children, especially when they don't know you're watching.
Anybody else? When I get up in the morning, first thing I do is look out at my garden. And seeing all the new sprouts, that makes me happy. Listening to good comedians makes me very happy. And a lot of times, as I'm driving here, I'll turn on Comedy Central or whatever, and I'm in my car laughing to myself the whole way here.
good music, I love.
Good music.
Yeah.
I mean, Judy Cross, Corey, here's a great idea. Judy wanted to have a dance floor put out on the patio. Didn't she say that this morning?
Yeah.
She wants lights. All right. That would make her very happy. So we'll work on that.
That would be fun.
What would your younger self tell your current self to do today?
Be grateful.
Don't dwell on the negative.
Yeah.
I find myself, I do that a lot. And you know what? Some things you just can't change and you need to let it go. So nobody else? What would your younger self tell yourself today? Get your hair done before March. Go shopping in February every day. At age 100, what would be one thing you would regret not doing?
think I go back to, I'm grateful for what I've had and what I have done.
Anybody? Nobody? Corey, can you think of anything? If you were 100, what would you regret?
Nothing I can talk about in front of mixed company.
And again, anybody can think of an activity or hobby that you feel happiest doing. Think about the situation now. When you leave here, what in your apartment makes you happy? Talking with family? So maybe if you start feeling blue, pick up the phone, FaceTiming. What about hobbies? You're like, oh, I used to knit, but I don't anymore. Maybe a hobby that you used to do, you don't do anymore, maybe you could pick up again. And anything about a smile. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I love watching the chipmunks and the squirrels. I know you're all, well, I'd get a gun and shoot them. Well, that's fun, but not, you know, they're just funny little animals. So try throughout your days, take a look at things that really make you smile. You know, the thought of planting those gardens. People are that makes them happy. And just think about when you have happy hour again, how much you're gonna love it, because you haven't had it in so long. And last but not least, most people are about as happy as they make up their minds to be.
That's a fact.
So what I want to take with you, I want you to take with you is just think happy thoughts. Surround yourself with happy people. Don't take things so serious and turn off the news. You can't change it. And unfortunately, with the worst part about this whole thing is people not interacting and staying in their apartments. The more you stay in your apartment, the more likely you are to dwell on the situation when we need to be finding ways to make ourselves happy.
I'm sure you've heard of Dr. Sanjay Gupta, everybody. And he's a brain surgeon.
So am I.
And he thinks that the most important thing to do for your brain is to be involved with others. That is the best exercise or stimulation for your brain.
And that's why this whole pandemic is killing me, because we can only have 10 people. And this lecture, which I think is a great idea, Corey's gonna play it again. But that interaction with people, the reason why I focused on this is because it's things you can hear over and over again. Sometimes we just forget to stop, step back, and realize how grateful and how important each day is that we make somebody else feel happy. Any questions? What do you guys think?
Very nicely done.
Thank you very much.
You did a great job.
Thank you. You know, making this, I mean, this is the kind of stuff I do every day, but really thinking about it, and when I helped that man in the scooter, it all hit home, like immediately. And that one of the women in my other facility is taking a class through Harvard or Yale, a course on happiness. And it was, she had to bake cookies for Samaritan Hospital, all the nurses' stations. Like just these, things that make you think and make you step outside and interact with other human beings. Unfortunately, right now, it's a little hard to do that, but just remaining positive and try to remember some of these things. Yes, sir.
I'm happy spending time with Kendra.
Oh, thank you. Well, you better get to class more often.
Well, it's-
You don't want to be that happy.
And sometimes, especially now that we're outside, maybe Corey won't see how many people we have in class. It's really hard. I stopped doing trivia because I hate to push people away. You know, this whole thing, I get it, but there's a flip side, avoiding that interaction. So me, I'm a people pleaser and I have a really hard time with all of this. And I keep joking, I'm like, well, when I get fired, then you'll all be happy. Anybody else want to share something that makes them happy? Or a trick when they feel blue, what makes them happy?
Thinking about my grandchildren.
Grandchildren.
Don't know
All right, well, thank you all for coming. I hope you feel happy.
Thank you, Kendra. Yep.
Thank you all for coming.